Is happening, Facebook? It is Tuesday night, which means it is Tuesday Night Fever in healthcare digital marketing. And if you are listening on the Healthcare Digital Marketing Podcast, the Healthy Funnel Podcast, we're so happy to have you here. Maybe you're on YouTube, maybe you're on Instagram, who knows, we're everywhere. Guys, this is Tuesday Night Fever, where we're going to talk about 3 totally random things and how they most definitely apply to you rocking audience engagement. Oh my gosh, a bunch of you are on here already. This is fun. So this is the Can You Teach It Challenge. I would highly encourage you to try this with your audience. This is how it goes. You figure out a topic that you want to talk about, or you ask your audience what they want. You ask them to assign you 3 random things, and then you teach 3 core principles with those 3 random things as chosen by Christine, physical therapist. We have a rock, a high-heeled shoe, not mine, and a roll of toilet paper. Oh my goodness, this is going to be exciting. I got this idea today while I was talking with a client. They were trying to come up with ideas for how to launch a course in an exciting new way, and I've helped them for quite a while. And so when I'm in that mode, you guys ever know when you're in that mode of like, you've helped someone a lot of times, and you're like, okay, how do I do something totally different? I was like, you know what? We should practice like having you teach concepts with like big visual objects and see if you can pull that off. And then I was like, you know what? We should have you let your audience choose what you teach with. And I was like, I should have a taste of my own medicine and do this tonight. So friends, I have brought along Sarah's high heel shoe. No, it's not mine. I'm sorry. I brought a rock from our garden. I moved about, I don't know, maybe 2 tons of rock last week. We just moved in to a new place we're renting right now in a really nice basement apartment at my in-laws' house. It's wonderful. I'm thoroughly enjoying not owning a home for a little bit as we wait on the market. But we moved like 2 tons of this rock to put in grass. So I had rocks handy and toilet paper. We actually ran out because I have kids and kids. So I had to steal some. But it's kind of a critical thing to have. We're going to talk about how to rock audience engagement tonight. Christine asked a wonderful question, which I think is just so on point. She said, how do I make sure that my audience engagement is on point and is increasing? She said that she's putting out engaging questions, but they're falling flat. And she wanted to know, how do I create engagement? Oh my gosh, you guys are coming in hot and heavy here. Oh, this is amazing. I can't see who's on. Dang you, Facebook. Here, I'm going to move this over so that I can actually get a look at who's on here. Thank you, guys. If you're on here live, just comment live. You saw the spectacle in person. That's amazing. If you're on the replay, comment replay so I know to give you a shout out. Sometimes Facebook doesn't let me see who's actually on without you commenting, and right now they're not at all. So thank you so much for being on here. Let's talk audience growth principles. As Will and I are preparing for the launch of our new program, I was looking at what we've done in healthcare digital marketing, and I started taking some screenshots of all the posts that we had that have gotten 100 comments or more. And guys, I got tired after I hit 20. Like I was done. I was like, nope, can't do any more. No more screenshots. It takes way too long to find all these because we had so darn many. I was trying to cross over. Wait, did I already screenshot that one? Did I already screenshot that one? And it dawned on me that over the past 2 years, we've gotten really, really, really good at getting people to engage on Facebook in an authentic, hopefully a very authentic way that gets people excited. Like, do you ever come in healthcare digital marketing and see something that we're talking about and feel excited and feel like, ooh, yeah, I want that? That's what we're aiming for, but we also we want this to be a fun experience. We want marketing online to be fun. We want marketing within healthcare to be fun. We want physical therapy to be fun. Shout out to Andrew Tran and Physio Memes. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you on here. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. I just gotta say hi to some friends who are coming on here. Usually Facebook shows me all the comments like on my feed right here. I'm dual screening, so I'm gonna look at my other screen that actually shows me y'all's comments. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Oh my gosh, is that Rob Vining? The man, live with dinner in my face. Dude, I love it. I just had dinner. Oh my goodness, homemade mashed potatoes, this amazing, amazing oven-baked turkey, creamed shredded carrots, if you can believe it or not. It was delicious. Okay, Kosi says, preach it, Alex Engar. Thank you, Kosi. Jeannie says live. Michael says, hey-yo, you're live. Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh, I can't even see all the comments. They're coming in so fast. All right, so let's talk about audience engagement, rocking it. I know that a lot of you on here are already rocking it. I want to take things to a totally different level because there's some laws, some principles of engagement of an audience that we're going to talk about tonight, starting with our good friend, the rock. I want you to look at a rock, okay? This rock, perhaps. It's a heavy rock for those listening on the podcast or elsewhere. It's about the size of a baseball, we'll say, much heavier than a baseball for sure. I want to know what happens if I throw this rock at my computer. What happens to it? Does the computer win or does the rock win? I want you to look at what happens if I go in a mic drop position and I drop the rock. The rock falls. What if I do it again, though? This time, will it be different this time if I drop the rock? No, the rock keeps falling. Why? Every time when I lift the rock and I do the work to lift the rock and I let go, why does it keep falling? It's a law. It's a law of physics in this case. It's nerdy and amazing gravity. Anyone who remembers gravity off the top of their heads from high school, put it in the comments. I would love to know. This is a moment to test your nerdiness. Do you remember what gravity is equal to from physics? Massive nerd kudos to anyone who can remember it. But it's the law of gravity, okay? It always happens because that's how it's set up. And I want to talk to you about the law of engagement and what it is that drives people to engage. There are certain laws that aren't going to change, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on YouTube or whatever book they end up having 20 years from now. The principles are always going to stay the same. Doesn't matter what platform you're on. The principles are the same. It's the principles of psychology that drive people to engage with you, and there are 3 of them that I want to focus on tonight. Number 1, everyone is self-centered. Okay, I want you to internalize that for a minute. Everyone is self-centered. They all care about themselves and what they're going to get out of what it is you can help them with. They don't actually care about your life that much. Now, to an extent, maybe because they want to be entertained. I mean, that's why we all are watching Netflix here, right? Let's be honest. But they care, they're intrinsically very self-motivated, and they care about themselves. So I want you to think about, am I talking about things that they care about? Or am I talking about things that I think they should care about? Okay? Do a little check. Christine, maybe this is a good thing for you to think about. Am I talking about things they actually care about? Okay? Because people are naturally self-centered. Number 2, the law of people crave new. People crave new. We crave novelty. And so we want to see things presented in a new way. We want new ideas, even if the same principle is being taught. We want to see it in a new way. We want to see new guides. We want to see new videos. We want to see new posts. That's why Facebook is not just putting the same post from last year up in your newsfeed, unless those posts are from Healthcare Digital Marketing, which we know they are because they're still showing up. We actually have a post that's 2 years old now, coming up in a month. 2 years old, still getting comments on it. Thank you very much, because we know how to leverage the Facebook algorithm. We'll talk about that another time, maybe at the end of this live stream. But people crave new, okay? And so putting out new content triggers that new feeling in the mind saying, oh my gosh, Alex and Will, they put out something new. Oh my gosh, Rob, he put out something new. Christine, Kosi, they're putting out new stuff. So how can you talk about things in a new, different, unique way? Okay, it's number 2. Number 3 is there are 3 core things that people care about: their health, their wealth, and their relationships. Russell Brunson would call those the 3 core markets. I'm sure a million other people would as well, but that comes straight out of Expert Secrets, which, if you haven't read it, is an amazing book. Expert Secrets, everyone, go get it. I'm sure it's a free plus shipping offer for $7 at expertsecrets.com or something like that. But he talks about health, wealth, and relationships. Everyone has those 3 core desires to improve in their lives, 3 core focuses. And so I want you to think about, where does my message fit? Is it a health, a wealth, or a relationship message? And I got the biggest aha moment I've ever gotten around this last month at Greg Todd's Elite Mastermind event. But I want you to understand that health, wealth, and relationships are 3 very distinct things, and you need to be hitting primarily on one of those. You need to be solving a problem in health, wealth, or relationships. I want you to put right now in the comments, which core problem do you feel like you're addressing? Which core market are you in within those 3? Health, wealth, or relationships? I want you to put it in the comments right now. By the way, Don says the right answer. All right, did you Google it, Don? Did you Google it? That looks kind of like a Googled response because it's so perfectly on point. Don wins with gravity equals 9.8 meters per second squared. It is an acceleration on mass. I love it. Mike Chua, health, wealth, and relationships. Love it, man. Which market are you in, dude? Are you solving health, wealth, or relationships? And I know for you, it probably depends on your audience, which audience we're talking about, right? Health, says Don. Health, says Kosi. Totally right. If you're a healthcare provider, you were probably hitting health, but you would be amazed. A lot of pelvic health therapists, for example, are actually solving relationship-based problems. And when they start to realize that, yes, it's a health problem, like they're solving a health issue, but the core market is they're actually improving relationships. Talked with a lot of pelvic health therapists who have come to the realization that, yeah, they're actually in relationships. It's relationships with partners or spouses. It's relationships with friends, because now they can go and exercise at the gym. And the thing that somebody is actually buying is a relationship improvement, even though the means to get there is a health change. Okay, kind of interesting. My big takeaway from Greg Todd is he said those who are truly prolific actually end up tying in their core market with the other two. So if you're solving a health problem, you actually end up being able to win most when you tie that into how it affects someone's relationships and wealth. And I thought about that, which is really interesting. That's the reason I follow Greg, because initially his messaging talks about wealth, it's wealth creation. But the reason I follow Greg is because he's also focused not just on wealth, but he's focused on creating wealth within the context of taking care of your family, of taking care of yourself in a health sense. And all his stories revolve around when he was a healthcare provider who was not happy with his job, which led him to having to take positions where he worked so hard that his family relationship suffered. And then he worked himself literally almost to death. And because of that, he's going to help me improve my wealth while honoring my health and improving the relationships I have with the people that I care about most. Bam, that's strong. But we are still solving one core problem, but we're connecting it to how that core problem will affect other areas of people's lives. Okay, so that's the lesson of The Rock. The Rock tells us that there are 3 laws that govern interest from people, and those are that they're self-centered, so let's talk about them and their problems. 2, they crave newness and a new way to solve their problems and a new way to think about their problems. And number 3, health, wealth, and relationships. Okay, that's the lesson of The Rock. Number 2, we're going to talk about some toilet paper, guys. I want you to think, what happens, what do you see if you put toilet paper up to your eye? Which, by the way, it's a really interesting thing to do for your kids. It's really cool to see what their dominant eye is. My daughter, when she was 1 year old, we started realizing, actually she was 6 months old, and we started realizing that her vision was a little off. You know, little kids are so cute, like their eyes will drift all over and all that stuff. Well, she started having one eye like very seriously drift. And we took her to the eye doctor, and he said, something's not right here. Turns out she had a detached retina from birth. And we were incredibly grateful that we caught it when we did. She had a very quick operation. It was very experimental in nature because that's not a common thing in kids her age. And they were able to save her sight in her eye. And so we patch every single day for 2 hours right now. It's a battle. She's 5, almost 6. She's been doing it since she was 1 year old. Been to a lot of vision therapy at this point. And one of the really interesting things to look at for kids now, I'm always thinking about it, but also for myself, is what's your dominant eye? You take a piece of toilet paper or a tube of toilet paper and tell your kids, hey, look through the telescope, see which eye they put it up to. It's really interesting to see if they have a preference. They usually put it up to one eye. Super interesting. Now I'm like all over that because my daughter. But if you take a tube and you look through it, you close your other eye, what do you see? You see a very limited scope. You actually get really honed in on what's right in front of you. And this is what I actually want you to do in your business right now. What I want you to focus on is I want you to start looking around you and looking at all the shiny objects that are calling for your attention. There's 2 lessons here, by the way. I don't know which one you like better. You can tell me. There's lots of shiny objects sitting around. There's actually, this will become very apparent on the 24th when Will and I unveil our new program. There is actually an order that you should do things in, especially if you're building an online business, especially if you're trying to launch a course or a coaching program online. There's a very succinct order that you should focus on things. Should you be focusing on ClickFunnels when and deciding what platform to have, if it's ClickFunnels or Thinkific or Kajabi, when you don't know who you're actually serving yet? Absolutely not. And I can't tell you the number of times we have people totally wavering from what they should be focused on and spending their time in a million places where they shouldn't, when we know exactly what they should be focused on based on where they're at. Like, we literally have a checklist now of here's what to focus on. Step 1, here's the 3 things. Step 2, here's the 4 things. Step 3, here's the 3 things. I actually just filmed step 3 today in our system. But that's lesson number 1, is stay focused on the thing. But the real lesson from an engagement standpoint is you need to be focused on the end result that your people actually want. Laser focused on it. I do not want you to be focused on things that you know people need, but they don't actually want. And this is the biggest mistake, bar none, that we see people making online, whether it's selling a course, whether it's trying to attract patients, whether it's just trying to build a brand online, is you talk about things that people need too much. Not talking nearly enough, not focusing nearly enough on the things people want. And that's how you get better engagement, Christine, and everyone else on here. Don, Nate, Mike, you focus on what it is that people want. And if you just keep talking about that, then you will keep having success. And it will get more and more clear what you should talk about as you test it, okay? So that's number 2, the lesson of the TP, focus on what people want, okay? Lesson number 3, the shoe. The high heel shoe, in fact. Anyone who's in here who's a healthcare provider, I just want you to tell me right now your feelings on high heel shoes. Do you like high heel shoes or do you not? Do you recommend them to women? Do you not? I just remember in PT school, one day we had I can't remember if it was a podiatrist. I think it was a podiatrist come in. And they were talking about high-heeled shoes and how much they absolutely hated them. I'm super curious. Do you guys have strong feelings one way or another? Are you a love them or hate them type of person? Do you love them? If you love them, I just want to hear. If you love them, put it love. If you hate them, put hate. I'm pretty impartial at this point. My wife doesn't wear a lot of high heels. This is about the highest heel shoe she's got. But the lesson of the high, Don says, rock them if you want to. Jeannie says, ditch them. Jeannie, I would imagine you can't be running a marathon in these things. If I were to put on a high heel shoe and walk in it right now, how do you think that would go? If I were to put on a high heel shoe right now, how would that go? I can tell you that my ankles wouldn't do very well at this point. I know these things I'm sorry, shoes are so stupid. Look at the taper. Like, whose toes in their right mind are shaped like that unless you spend every waking moment in these? I just got to say for a second, I was at Disneyland last week for almost a week. We just got back, I guess, the beginning of last week. And I was wearing these shoes. They're awesome shoes. Not these shoes, but I was wearing shoes that were, they got that taper at the end. My feet were so sore by the end. I wore flip-flops the last 3 days and loved it. My goodness. I'm going back to Ultras, you guys. It's terrible. Like, shoe toe boxes are the stupidest thing ever. My feet ain't shaped like this. I don't think anyone's are. Jeannie says, I think we need an Alex in heels walking demo. Sorry, my office space does not support that. Mike says, oh, come on, my wife loves them though. All right. Nate says, I like when my fiance wears them. Cool. Okay, I totally see that, man. Like, hey, I'm not complaining. Like, they don't look bad. When my wife wears them, she rocks them. But if I were to wear these high heels right now, I would probably have a good chance of rolling my ankle, looking like a complete doofus, and probably some combination of like massive. I'd probably get some terrible bunion or like I don't know, blister development. It would be sad, right? Let's compare that to someone who wears high heels twice a week and has for the past 10 years. How do they look when they walk in high heels? They got that nice strut, right? They got that like whole one foot in front of the other catwalk type thing. I ain't doing that, right? There's no way that's happening. The lesson of the high heel shoe is that the very first time you put it on, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to feel natural. And you're going to look pretty bad at it. Like, let's be honest, okay? For any of the ladies who are on here, Will says, yes, Alex in high heels demo. Man, that's we're going to have to do some fundraising for that if that's the case. We're going to have to like fundraise for a good cause to make that happen. Ooh, that's a rough one. But the first time you wear a high heel shoe, I can imagine that it was not pretty. It really probably wasn't. As you're moving online, it is not going to be pretty also. You putting yourself out there, you doing a live stream, you doing a post and trying to get engagement is not going to be pretty either. And you just have to realize that the first few times you do it, it's going to be like Alex wearing a pair of high heels for the first time. It's not going to be great, guys. It's not going to be pretty. But you know what? If you really want to walk in high heels, if you really want to strut your stuff, which I admittedly do not, but if you did, if the goal was to be able to get so good at this that you could go out on the town and look like $1 million, then the only way to get good at it is not to say, well, I'm just going to put them on and go for it and just hope for the best. No, like you break in the shoes. You wear them. You practice them. You fall a couple times. You might sprain your ankle. You might look kind of dumb. Okay? You might look kind of dumb. And I'm going to promise you that the first few times you put yourself out there online, heck, maybe it's the first few months, maybe it's the first few years, whatever, you are going to feel dumb. It's just like, it just happens. But if you want to get good at it, if you really are serious about making a difference in the world by putting yourself out there online, by taking a message that you know people need and you know they want, and you want to get it out to more than one-on-one, and you want to make a real difference in people's lives, you have to get comfortable walking in the high-heeled shoes. You have to get comfortable doing the things that are uncomfortable at first online. And you have to get over the fact that your toes might feel cramped, that your ankles are going to wobble, and that you're probably going to skin your knees a couple times before you get good at it. You just have to accept that. And it's also really comforting for me to know that it's not like when I was starting off, it wasn't comfortable for other people either. I will tell you it wasn't for me. I want to tell you about my first attempt at a Facebook group. Can I tell you guys that? My first attempt at a Facebook group, I had a podcast. It was actually a really dang good podcast, you guys. It's called the Habit Hacked Podcast. It's still up. I'm still paying Libsyn every single month to host that thing, even though we haven't done an episode in 2 years. It's because it's a really good, and we're still getting downloads from it every month. It's a really good mindset and habit and like how to get over your own crap podcast. I still go back and listen to it because I remind myself like, okay, yeah, what was I teaching other people? What do I need to remember? I'll go back and listen to it. Check it out. Habit Hacked Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. We had a podcast. It was great. The Facebook group, however, for it was pretty dead. Like, I'll be honest, it was pretty dead. I did not know what I was doing with it. And so because I didn't know what I was doing with it, because I didn't know the rules of the game, we didn't get a lot of traction in the Facebook group. Got actually quite a bit of traction in the podcast itself, but it's because of what I was doing on my personal profile. I was bad at it too. It did not work for me early on. And now when we put out these posts that can get 100, 200, 300, I saw a post that Will did. It has 500 comments in the group. Now, is everything about comments? No. But in order to get people to buy from you so that you can create a transformation in their lives and really create change, you have to get in front of them and you have to get them to engage with you so that you can get them to trust you enough to buy from you so that you can make the change in their lives that you know they can make. So we have to play the game. We have to understand how the algorithm works, and you have to know that at first it's going to be uncomfortable. Things like putting links in posts. Will and I actually filmed the module for our new program today that talked all about every single no-no that we see people making online as they're preparing to launch courses. And we actually have a slide. It's everything that you should put in a post and everything that you shouldn't put in a post. So that every time you go to make a post, it's like, boom, should you do this thing? Like, check, 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 check. I'm good. Should I not do that thing? X, X, X. Oh, okay. I'm good. So like literally the checklist for how to make a good post. And if you don't follow the rules, then you're not going to get the good results that you want. So what are some of those rules? No, I just told you, like no links in posts. Great. That might be a little bit awkward at first to not put a link in a post and to put it down in the comment. It might be a little bit awkward for you to transition things to your personal profile instead of a business page. I just want to know right now, how many of you right now are still posting to your business page at least once a week? I'm curious right now, how many of you are posting on your business page at least once a week, but not on your personal profile regularly. Okay, I want you to put it in the comments. If it's honestly been a while since you posted like for your business on your personal profile, but you're still doing it on your business page, just put me in the comments. I'm just curious of those who are on here. Because the rules of the game, the way they work right now, and if you're going to get engagement online, you need to move things to your personal profile. It's not comfortable. Guess what? Walking in high heel shoes probably isn't either. I wouldn't know from experience. Ballista says me. So guess what? It might be time to really make sure that we're transitioning things to the personal profile, going all in on that. Christine says, I share from personal page to business page. Cool, better, definitely better. Sherry says me. Yeah. And Sherry, I know you got a following on your business page. And so that's the hard thing. It's like, I know, but I've got a following there. But guess what? People aren't seeing your stuff. So if people aren't engaging, they're never going to see your stuff. They're never going to get a chance to buy from you. And then you won't get a chance to actually make a difference in their life. Okay. Jared says neither. Whew. All right, Jared, time to up it, brother. Time to get on there. These are the 3 lessons, you guys. We've got the lessons of the rock that we have to understand the laws that govern engagement online, which are that people care about themselves. They crave new things, new ideas, new solutions to their problems. And they really care about health, wealth, and relationships. And you fit into one of those, but you'll ultimately win if you can connect how your solution affects all 3. Then the focus. Oh, I threw the TP. It didn't go far. The focus of making sure that you're focused on the one thing that people actually want solved. And you're talking about that over and over and over and over again. By the way, you will feel like you're repeating yourself online a lot. But I can promise you that others are not as tired of your message as you are. In fact, they're craving to hear it if you're hitting on something that people actually want. So don't get sick of talking about things. Just when you feel like, oh my gosh, this is way too much. Somebody wise once told me, this is Steve Larson, he said I'm sure it was Russell Brunson, said that just as you feel like you're getting really, really tired of saying the same thing over and over is when people are just starting to realize what you're saying. Okay. And then number 3, the rule of the shoe. It is going to be awkward. You're going to have to learn. It's going to hurt along the way. Some people are going to ask what you're doing. What? Alex in high heels? What? Alex is a physical therapist and he teaches people how to make online courses? What? Ludicrous. Well, guess what? It is going to be awkward. People are going to look at you and you'll be like, sorry, I really want to walk in the high heels, guys. And you're just going to have to get through that. But you can get through it. As evidenced by the fact that I'm sure someone out there can walk amazingly in high heels, even though I can't. And now this stuff is super easy for Will and I. It's second nature, but it's only because we've put in the reps over and over and over and over. Hundreds of posts on Facebook. Hundreds of live videos on Facebook. To get to the point where we know how to create engagement, but then we also know how to satisfy that and give good stuff to our people. And then we know how to get really good results for our clients doing the same thing. Okay? Those are the 3 lessons of the rock, the toilet paper, and the shoe. This has been Tuesday Night Fever. I hope you enjoyed this. I want to hear what your biggest takeaway was from all this. Of those 3 things that we talked about, I want you to write it down. If you don't write it down, you're going to be very unlikely to remember it, and even less likely to implement it. And you just spent a half hour almost listening to this. So I want you to write it down. Okay. If you're listening to this on the podcast, send me a voice message or a text message through Facebook Messenger. Tell me what was your biggest takeaway. Just search for Alex Engar on Facebook. Very few people do this, and very few people also have the results they want in life. Interesting how that works. Be one of the few that actually commits to what they're going to do. And I want you to write in the comments, what was your big takeaway? Okay. What was the big takeaway, and what do you need to know coming away from this? Jeannie says, Alex should walk in high heels. That is not a real takeaway, Jeannie. I don't believe that was something that I taught was going to happen. Buffy says, I need to post more on my personal page. Yeah, Buffy, you've got your group, but guess what? A group alone, if it isn't growing, doesn't do us any good. So we have to have an input into that group still. So we have to have some personal profile goodness that then can drive people to the group. Okay. Jared says, share on the personal side. Yeah. Jared, by the way, you should be there on October 24th. We're going to teach about this stuff in depth And if you're just getting into this, man, I want you there. Jeannie, laser focused. I love it. Don says, get used to feeling uncomfortable because I never will get better and deliver my message to people if we don't. Totally. Sherry says, post on the personal page. Awesome. Katie says, it's going to be uncomfortable and I'll be bad at it, but I need to get through it. I love it. Nathan says, tailoring messaging to relationships. Yeah. I think it's really fascinating to see how we often think that it's all just about health, or it's all just about wealth, or it's all just about relationships, but you can tie what you're doing into those other core markets, those other core desires. Christine says, think about how health, wealth, and relationships are connected in my business. I love that. I also want to encourage you guys to go do something like this crazy. Do it on your personal profile. Okay, not everybody in the world saw this because it's not on my personal profile. It's in the group, so it can be original to you and your audience, right? Go steal things that work for you guys. Go have fun with it. Engage your audience in new ways, right? What did tonight do? Tonight talked about something that was very self-centered on you. How do you get more engagement in your business, in your social media, so that you can create a bigger impact? That's self-centered. This was new. I've never once explained things with a rock, a high-heeled shoe, and toilet paper. And I probably never will again, okay? I talked about wealth specifically. I very directly hit on wealth. Now, what I didn't do tonight was talk about how this relates to your relationships and your health. And that's what we're going to do on the 24th of October at 8 p.m. Eastern. I did talk to you about focus, and I focused on the one thing that I know that everyone wants. I know that everyone wants a business that allows them to have time freedom and income freedom. And what are the things that ultimately buys people? Well, when I talk to people, everyone wants to be able to travel with their family. Everyone wants to be able to spend time with their family when they want. Everyone wants to be able to create a business that they want to help people in the way they want so they don't have to go to a job that they hate. I know that because I am that. I'm living that. But I also talk to you all the time. And so I'm helping you focus on the thing that you ultimately want. I'm not just talking about what you need. Now, am I talking about what you need in this live stream? You better believe it. But the messaging is around what you want that pulls you in so I can help you know what you need. And then finally, the practice. Guys, I've been putting in practice on this stuff forever. We've been doing Tuesday Night Fever for almost a year and a half now. Now, have I taken some breaks in there? Heck yeah, life's gotten really busy lately. I've had some breaks. It's been a while. But have we practiced this stuff over and over? Yes. Like we're at the point now where for a very select number of clients, for some of our highest end clients, like I'm writing these posts for them. I'm doing it over and over. I'm getting on consulting calls with our clients who are launching courses, and literally I'm writing out their prompts. Literally, I'm writing out their posts. So a lot of the posts that you're seeing right now, to be honest, Will and Alex have a decent hand in them. So that practice makes us better and better and better, okay? I am doing the things that I'm teaching you tonight. And if you want more of this stuff, I really, really want to encourage you to look out for what's coming on the 24th. October 24th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I can't tell you yet what's happening, other than that we're going to have a massive, massive party. And that we're going to be launching a program that's specifically focused on this. Helping people to grow online programs and launch online courses. It's going to be amazing. We've just revealed the first details of it to our mastermind, and there's some excitement around it. I'll just put it at that. What's coming for you guys is going to be ridiculous. Will and I have been working on it for almost 2 years now. It's a program that literally has almost taken us 2 years to put together. We've tested it like crazy with now literally hundreds of people. We realized when we started asking people that we've helped 8 people hit 6 figures with this, which is ridiculous to us. And we've had a really significant hand in some 7-figure launches as well, which we're really proud of. We can't wait to share this stuff with you. October 24th, be there. You will see details of it coming out in like a week and a half-ish, like the week before that. I can't tell you too much yet other than that. It's going to be amazing. We love you guys. I really, really appreciate you being in healthcare digital marketing, spending your Tuesday night with me. This has been Tuesday Night Fever. Thank you so much. Sherry says my book award announcement is the 25th. Yes, I love it. Will says they aren't supposed to know. I know, nothing yet. Dude, it is crazy. 2 years in the making, man. Will says it's crazy. It's been 2 years in the making. Yeah, I got to go look back, Will, at the very first time somebody asked us about this and see when that message was, because I feel like that was really the start of a lot of this with Jen. So I love it. Thank you guys so much. You rock. We'll see you on the 24th. You better be there. By the way, if you want to be there, we're going to be inviting everyone who has raised their hand saying they want to be there. Comment invite right now if you want to make sure that you get an invite on the 24th for this party. Just comment invite. I'll go back on this post when we send out the invites to make sure that I tag you in it so that you don't miss it. You might as well just say it right now so that we make sure that you're on there. Even if you know what we're doing, which now a select number of people do, some of our clients do, you're going to want to be there just to see how we roll it out. And hopefully be there to celebrate a lot of you on the party. It'll be a bunch of fun. So Will says invite. Will, you better be there, baby. It's going to be fun. Christine says invite. Don says invite. Thank you guys so much. This has been Tuesday Night Fever. We love you guys. We will see you guys on the next one. Please remember the law of the rock, the toilet paper, and the high-heeled shoe. Go forth, learn, test out, and go make the world a better place by showing up authentically online and helping people by selling them what they need and delivering what they want. You guys rock. You're going to change the world together. Go get it.